Order, or I'll have this courtroom cleared. Mr. Winthrop, is there a reason for this statement of yours beyond the desire to turn these proceedings into an emotional free-for-all?
I wasn't trying to be provocative, Your Honor. I believe that Lorna Devon was indeed raped. However, that doesn't necessarily follow that my client was the rapist.
I object, Your Honor. Counsel's opinion is irrelevant here.
Sustained. Mr. Winthrop, why don't we try it this way? You ask a question, Miss Devon will answer. How does that sound?
Just fine, Your Honor.
I should hope so. Proceed, Counselor.
I know this is difficult for you, but we have to go back to the night of the rape. In your deposition, it's quite clear that for a variety of reasons, there were more than a few gaps in your memory of exactly what happened that night.
I remember being raped.
Ms. Devon, when you and my client and the other man went back to your apartment, you said at first things were friendly.
Yeah. We danced.
Do you remember what time that was, approximately?
We must have left Sassy's around 8.
So, a little after 8 then. What time did the other man leave your apartment?
I don't know. I thought that he would take Morgan with him when he left, but he didn't. He just left anyway.
Well, let's estimate. Probably sometime around, say, 9, you were left alone with Dr. Winthrop, who then attempted to get romantic.
There was nothing romantic about it. He was pawing at me. He tried to take my clothes off. I told him to forget it. He obviously had a problem with the word no, so I told him to get out of my house. Now, how many times do I have to repeat this? Because I will. I will say it over and over again until it is understood.
Hopefully, this will be the last time. You testified that you passed out on the couch. Do you remember passing out, Ms. Devon?
I closed my eyes. Yes, I remember just wanting to be alone.
It's understandable. What time did you pass out?
I don't know.
Let me ask you this, and again, forgive me for making you relive this, but you say that you remember being raped.
Is that a question?
No, I'm sorry, it wasn't. Can you please tell the court what time the rape occurred?
Objection! Does counsel suggest that my client should have checked her watch?
Overruled. Mr. Winthrop, proceed, but with caution.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to make this as easy as I possibly can for you. You left Sassy's around 8. Morgan Winthrop's friend Kyle left your apartment around 9. Soon after, you and Dr. Winthrop argued. What this court needs to hear from you, Ms. Devon, is, to the best of your recollection, how much time elapsed between the time you asked Dr. Winthrop to leave and the moment you woke up with a man on top of you. How long were you passed out, Ms. Devon?
A few seconds.
Are you sure? Could it have been longer? A few minutes, maybe?
No, I just closed my eyes.
You said you asked my client to leave?
I definitely asked him to leave.
And then?
I passed out. And then after the rape...
You passed out again. During the time you were conscious, during the rape... I'm sorry, would you like to take a minute?
No.
Then, can you remember anything that might help us establish what time it was? A clock chiming, a garbage truck driving by, a loud noise of any kind?
No, I don't think so.
And yet you were absolutely sure no time passed between your telling my client to leave and the rape taking place?
I'm sure.
Why? What makes you so sure?
I just am.
Okay. You testified that you remember smelling my client's cologne. Very specific recollection. Is there anything else about him that you remember at that moment?
Excuse me?
I know this is traumatic, but please try to concentrate. This will all be over very shortly. Just try to remember if you saw anything in my client's face at that moment when he was on top of you during the rape.
Do I have to answer this? Objection, Your Honor. The witness has already described to this court the attack in heartbreaking detail.
Yes, she has. However, nowhere in her testimony today or in the deposition that was given after the rape did she describe the rapist's face, what he looked like at that moment. Your Honor, my client's entire future is at stake here. I'm simply asking the witness to recall some simple detail of the rapist's face at that moment while she was being raped. How closely shaven he was, how long his hair was, anything.
This Kramer's objection is overruled. Please, answer the question, Miss Devon.
Ms. Devon.
It's very hard. It's very hard.
There must be something. My client's face is not without distinction. There must be something you remember.
I'm trying.
Let me remind you that you testified that the rapist said something like, yes, here it is, you know you want it. You remember the cologne. Your senses were functioning. My client is sitting right here in front of you. Surely you can recall one significant detail of his face during the rape.
Miss Devon, if you don't answer the question, I'll have to find you in contempt.
I'm sorry. While the rape was happening, I didn't...
You didn't what?
He was on top of me, and he was pushing against me, and his face was in my neck. I couldn't breathe.
Please, answer my question. Do you remember seeing his face while you were being raped?